Hey guys, I'm Asher, and I want to do a quick review of a very pretty violin that Glarry Music sent me to evaluate. It's an electric violin. I have a lot to say about it, but this is going to be from the vantage point of a professional performer as opposed to a teacher, so just keep that in mind. I want to just start out by showing you the very pretty case that it came in, and believe it or not, the price tag is only 100 and change on this unit. Comes with these handy headphones that I could plug into the headphone jack, and I could practice. I don't have to bother my neighbor or other people I'm living with. It's a silent violin in that sense, not completely, but really close to it, and allows me to practice late at night, so that's really convenient. It's definitely lightweight. As you can see, there's holes here, and I can attach my standard shoulder rest to the back of the unit. The inside of the violin case comes with a really pretty bow. I didn't rosin because I'm going to use my expensive bow to test it out. And a nice little instruction packet. Is this upside down? Can't tell. Yeah. With the anatomy of the violin, so you can tell automatically, you know, this is intended for students. Sort of describes how to hold the bow and how to rosin the bow. And speaking of rosin, there's also in this case at the end, as typical, little rosin. Let me just try to open this up. There we go. Really nicely designed. They definitely focus a lot on aesthetics, as you can tell with this violin. I found that when I rosin the bow, it tends to crumble. So I wouldn't say this is the highest end rosin, but it could very well do the job. Now this violin is run by a 9-volt battery. I'll just pop this off so you can see. 9-volt, and I inserted, put on the cap there, and you can turn it on, you'll see the red light. I put in what came with the case, an 1/8" jack, which the other end is a 1/4" going into my pedal to sort of model the tone a bit. I put into the headphone jack as opposed to the output. I found that the sound is a little bit better there, so you can judge. You can be the best judge of, you know, if you like the tone. It comes with the strings kind of hanging out on the side and untuned, so you do have to know how to tune it. If you have a teacher, you can definitely get that working. It's got the mini pegs at the back here. It works a lot like a typical violin. So it does resonate a pretty clear tone. I'm pretty picky with my sound. The richness of the tone. I feel like it's got the high end and the low end and the mid, but there's something sweet that I'm missing within the tone. If you're a student, none of that matters. You can use this to practice scales or etudes. As far as the action, if you take a close look up here, the action is a little bit high, slightly high. Could be that the bridge is a little higher than is typical, and that's something that could probably be fixed if you just buy a different bridge. Now I'm gonna compare it to my professional violin that I use for events, live events. This is a higher price tag, close to 2,000. Much heavier, so I put this strap around. So that would be a negative for this and a positive for the Glarry, and that it's much lighter. Now tonally, I feel like it has a richer tone. I can sound closer to an acoustic, and then I can also make it sound like an electric guitar and a bunch of other sounds. But I also find that the action is a little bit easier to play. That being said, the price tag. So if I were a student, would I get this? No, I would just use this for professional purposes. This also has tonal knobs and the tone and volume. That being said, this Glarry instrument, a fraction of the price, also has volume and tone, and 3 different jacks, output, mic, and headphones. So that's something to factor in. So I'm gonna do another apples to apples quick comparison so you can hear clearly what your preference is tonally. So I adjusted the tonal knob towards the bass as opposed to the treble, because when I go treble, it's screechy. But that's the beauty of having this tonal knob. I put it more towards bass. It's a bit warmer, right? Now, I noticed that it is a little harder to play in tune. I don't know if it's because of the strings, but, or that I'm not really sure exactly if it's the build of the instrument, but I'll play the other violin so you can kind of hear the difference. Just gonna play some scales. So tonality and just clarity of the exact notes that I'm playing and what's coming out that people hear is very, very important as a live performer. That being said, because of the weight factor with this, I would be somewhat more inclined to practice with this at home. It's light on my back. This puts a lot of weight on the spine. So overall, I would say both instruments serve a purpose, and it's nice to have a backup. If you're a pro, to have this backup. This goes first as far as live performance. As far as being a student, this makes total sense because of its price tag. It's convenient that it's a silent violin. You don't have to bother your neighbors. It's beautifully designed. I like that it has flexible sound. The 9-volt battery I see could be a little bit of an issue for people in terms of convenience, but not a big deal. Just get a bunch of 9-volt batteries and make sure you have some backups. As far as the jack that goes into the instrument, this goes into the Glarry instrument. This is an 1/8 inch. It's much smaller than the standard guitar cable, which is a 1/4 inch. And I use this for my pro violin. I would prefer this. I think it's gonna give me a little bit of a better tone, but this does the job as far as practicing. I would also have a few backup cables like this if you choose the Glarry instrument, because if one of them breaks, you might be stuck, and you always want to have backups of all your cables regardless, but this may tend to break over a shorter period of time. So the million-dollar question is, do I recommend this Glarry instrument? And the answer is, it depends. If you're a student, absolutely. If you're looking for lightweight, absolutely. If you're looking for tonal convenience, sure. If you want a lower price tag, this is the best by far. If you want tone and an instrument that you can play perfectly in tune and long-term reliability, I would go elsewhere. Not necessarily with this, but elsewhere. This is good as a backup in case this breaks on a gig. So overall, I'm very impressed with the design and the price tag, and I hope that this review is helpful, and happy to answer any questions. Anyway, guys, thanks for stopping by, and I look forward to seeing your comments, and I'm happy to answer any questions or concerns or anything else you'd like me to review. Please let me know. See you guys next time.